In this video, I'm going to explain the 4 steps we follow in changing a wheel bearing on a Polaris side-by-side. Now, these steps are going to be similar on most side-by-sides, so stick around to the end. I'll give you a pro tip on how to change a wheel bearing trail side. As always, please show your support by hitting the subscribe button and clicking the bell icon to turn on notifications. First, getting access to the wheel bearing. Start off with getting your machine off the ground with a lift or jack. Now, pro tip here is don't use the trailing arm to lift your machine off the ground if you're doing the rear wheel bearing. You'll need to disconnect the radius rods, which will be an issue if the jacks are on the trailing arms. Once your machine is up, then move on to taking off the tire of the wheel bearing you're trying to replace. Next, you'll take out the cotter pin and axle nut. I don't reuse the pin, but that's just me. So use your best judgment on yours. Once those items are out of the way, then remove your brake caliper and then the hub. From there, I disconnect the radius rods and I unbolt the assembly from the trailing arms. Once that's off, then this step is complete. Second, removing the wheel bearing. To make this part easier, we use a portable press tool to get the wheel bearing out. This tool can be used with a hammer for trailside repairs or with your press in your garage for easy alignment. I'll show you how to press out the bearing with the tool and hammer if you were trailside. It makes this process extremely easy once you get everything lined up. It'll take you more time lining everything up than it will take you to hammer out the bearing. Now, I'll link the tool below in the description where you can check it out for yourself. Third, pressing in the wheel bearing. Now, before you start pressing it in, you want to make sure everything is thoroughly clean. The last thing you need to happen is some debris to get wedged in there, causing the wheel bearing not to press in correctly. We use brake cleaner to clean everything really good. Once that step is done, we line up the bearing and assembly to press in. For pressing back in, I'm going to show you how we use the tool with the shop press. It makes quick work of pressing the bearing back in once it's all lined up. Pro tip here is if you feel any real resistance heavier than expected, then you might be out of line. It should press in easy if you're lined up correctly. If you're hammering back in, you need to watch each side to make sure it's going back in smoothly and not at an angle. The bearing should sit flush with the inside lift so the retainer ring can go back in. Fourth, greasing and reassembling. Now, before you start reassembling, you will want to grease the new wheel bearing. Even though this is a new wheel bearing, it will need grease. I've seen new wheel bearings take up to 20 pumps of grease before. We have a full video that explains wheel bearing greasing that I will link in the description below. Once you have greased your wheel bearing, then you can move on to reassembling. Follow step 1 in reverse to get everything back together. Now, be careful and make sure you tighten the axle nut and lug nuts back to factory specs. In conclusion, replacing a wheel bearing isn't that difficult and can even be done trail side. Now, the pro tip here is using the wheel bearing tool will help with alignment and accuracy when pressing in and out a wheel bearing during trail side repair. So please check out the description of this video for links to all the products we mentioned. Using the links in our description to buy these products helps us to continue to bring you great information like this video. Please show your support by hitting the subscribe button and clicking the bell icon to turn on notifications. If this video has helped you, then please smash the like button and thank you for watching.